beat the Browns barely 17-16. The Bengals defense forced two turnovers and held the Browns scoreless on their final 6 drives of the game to secure the win. You could say that Jordan really battled. What a great last name. Your last name is Battle? Predestined that you're going to do something like play in the NFL. Or in your case, being a rap battle.
Ooh, that would be a good rap name if he retires.
His name should be Rap Battle?
It's not bad.
I'm just asking what you're saying.
Yeah, well, sorry, like a good rap name. I said rap battle. It'd be a good rap name if he ever did retire.
Oh, would be Jordan Battle.
Yeah, or rap battle.
Oh, Rap Battle. Okay. Anyway, he's the defensive player of the week.
Congrats, Jordan.
And that is where we are. All right. Let's go through this here. Of the teams that won this week and that somewhat looked impressive, who is most likely to be an illusion? So you can't choose a team that we know is bad. Whose win is a more believable version of last year's Saints?
Ooh, I like it. Can I start with my own team? I don't think
anybody thought they were going to be good. I think that's like the exact example of who you can't choose.
But like if the expectation was like 8 wins, okay, fine.
I mean, I think your options are Buffalo, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Chargers, Broncos, not the Raiders, Eagles, Commanders, Packers, Vikings, Bucks, Niners, Rams. Can't count the Cardinals or the Colts.
I'll go then the Steelers. Very nice
I will
win.
too.
Rodgers played better than I thought. I'm with you, though. I don't think it's sustainable for another 16 games.
Anybody that lost that was expected to lose or be a losing team who's on the other, you can't pick the Chiefs, you can't pick the Texans. You know, I'll give you one. I'll go on a limb here. I think the Titans are interesting. Like Cam Ward, if Cam Ward can, they're not going to win a bunch of games, but if Cam Ward can be really effective and grow into that job, if that was less about Denver not being great and more about maybe the Titans being more competitive than we thought, maybe they can be surprising this year. I'm not talking 2 years ago's Texans or last year's Commanders, but I mean, if the Titans won, I think 8 games would be a crazy success. 7 games, crazy successful season. What about the Raiders? Are we sleeping too much on Pete Carroll? We give all this credit to Jim Harbaugh for turning teams around. Do you want to give the Raiders a little bit of love? I don't.
I did not think your answer was going there. I think they're a good case of wait and see.
That's not an answer. That's an
fine. Yeah, I don't want to give them I don't think they deserve the praise. It's a nice win over the Patriots. I don't think the Patriots are going to be very good. Geno Smith is a capable quarterback, but he's also, for how well he played and nearly thrown for 400 yards, equally capable of throwing 3 picks next week, and you score 10 points and lose.
Better version of Jameis Winston.
Right.
Chargers or Broncos this year?
I will still stay with the Broncos.
I'll go Chargers.
Chargers, I will say, did impress.
In fairness, there might be a little bit because I have a clip out there of me saying Sean Payton sucks that just pops up. Oh, by the way, it started to pop up this week, and then it went real silent. Where'd you guys go? You don't want to send me the Sean Payton clip? Oh, the Titans are giving a little bit of a run for your money? Broncos fans?
Well, you're saying the second quarter, people started getting quiet when Bo Nix are throwing picks?
Got real. Bo picks. Bo picks. By the way, there's no guarantee that we've seen C.J. Stroud have a come down year and year too. We've seen a lot of guys who had amazing seasons. There's no guarantee that Bo Nix is going to be awesome this year. Young quarterbacks, people figure you out sometimes. Doesn't mean that'll happen. But no one is sleeping on the Broncos. They're one of a lot of people think they're going to win the division. To do that, you have to ignore the fact the Chiefs playing it, but you also have to presume that Bo Nix will be at least the second best quarterback in the division. And for the Broncos to win that division, the AFC West, Bo Nix has to be what best quarterback in the AFC? The 5th?
Just in the AFC to win the division at worst.
At worst.
At worst. That team's good, but you still need to play at a high level. Because you're talking about what? 14 wins, 13 wins to win that division.
And the Chargers are no joke, and the Chiefs are obviously no joke. And as you said, the Raiders are wait and see. So it's not as if you're playing in. You're not the Colts, man. Like 9 wins ain't gonna potentially get it done.
Right. The Raiders are at least a tough out. There's no easy layup where it's like, okay, we're gonna win 2 free wins because we played this team twice.
By the way, we talk about quarterbacks all the time. Think about the coaching in that division in the AFC West. If you had to power rank careers, it'd be hard to do. If you had to power rank careers, is it Andy Reid one?
I would say so because it's now what? He's been to 6 Super Bowls and won 3.
Won 3. Yep.
I think
won 4. No, they've won 3.
3 and 5. Right, Mahomes is 3, and he did not win one in Philly.
He didn't with the Eagles. But Pete Carroll won at both levels. That's really hard to do.
And Jim Harbaugh made it to a championship game at both levels. Won a national title.
If Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers win a Super Bowl, it'll be interesting how you compare his legacy with Carroll's. Because Michigan was not in a great spot when he went there. And by the way, Sean Payton won a Super Bowl. I still think he should have won more. I still think that's a Peyton Manning level underachievement. See what I did there? How he slipped it in?
I did see that.
See how I got it in?
Always. Yeah. But I also like how you conveniently leave off Drew Brees as for getting more blame, too.
Because he was coached by Sean Payton.
Oh.
That's the problem.
All the success, it's Drew Brees. All the failure, it's Sean Payton. I love it.
Good to have Dennis Dodd on the show. Thank you to him. Thank you for everybody hanging out and listening on the Free Odyssey app or whatever wonderful affiliate carries the program. Thank you to Ryan Hickey. I'm Bill Ryder. Appreciate you. Fun show, even though the Bears broke my heart again. We'll see you back here tomorrow on Ryder Than You.
Son, do you know what time it is?
Your father and I were waiting all night for you to come home.
I'm sorry. So we could tell you that you're eligible to become a member of Navy Federal Credit Union.
Wait, what?
Since your dad's a veteran, our whole family can join and get exclusive savings, discounts, and award-winning service.
Thank you.
Now go to your room and think about what we said.
All veterans and their families are eligible. Join today. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Hey, want to hear something great? Right now at Wendy's, you can get 2 of the #1 selling bacon cheeseburger in all fast food, the JBC, plus medium fries and a medium soft drink for just $8. Want to hear something else great? Double the burger means double the bacon. Now that's a game changer. 2 of the #1 bacon cheeseburgers with fries and a drink for just $8. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Request $8 JBC meal deal to obtain discount. Individual items at regular price.
At U.S. Cellular, you can get $1,000 off any phone with no trade-in, so you don't have to haggle at self-checkout.
$10.99.
I'll give you $7.
$10.99.
$8.
Calling for assistance.
Get $1,000 off any phone with no trade-in, and we'll pay off your current contract when you switch. U.S. Cellular, built for us. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
This is Brandon Tate, owner and operator of Atlantic Wireless, an authorized agent for U.S. Cellular since 1997. Visit atlanticwireless.com to find the store near you. We go beyond the call.
The stifling heat of summer, the bitter cold of winter. What do they have in common? The extreme temperatures of both force your home's heating and cooling system to work overtime to keep you comfortable. And that can cost you a lot of money. Fortunately, your neighbors at Greenville Utilities have several ways you can save energy. And that means saving you money on your utility bills. Just go to GUC.com and look for ways to save. That's GUC.com.
You know that sound? That's the sound of relaxation in a can. Flippo Farms THC seltzers are here. It's time to try something different. Our THC-infused seltzers are crisp, refreshing, and just what you need to take the edge off without taking you out. Whether you're tailgating, grilling out, or just surviving another day of meetings, Flippo Farms seltzers bring chill with zero hangover.
Try a Flippo Farms THC seltzer at Nash Hot Chicken. 21 and older, please drink responsibly.
The price is always right at Doug Henry of Greenville. Doug Henry of Greenville has over 300 vehicles to choose from and brand new inventory arriving daily. Back to school means everything from moving the kids around or traveling to see your favorite team play. Doug Henry has the best prices around and savings for your next dream car. You're sure to walk out a happy customer. Doug Henry is easy to find right on the corner of Greenville Boulevard and Memorial Drive, and always online at DougHenryGreenville.com.
Country Mart has been locally owned and operated for over 40 years and is your premier country store serving the best cheese biscuits and country food around. Country Mart is open every day and has 2 locations in Bethel on Highway 11 and in Stokes on Highway 903. Both Country Mart locations are top-of-the-line fuel stations serving Shell gas, including 93 ethanol-free high-octane gas, which is the best for all you boat owners. Country Mart, fueling you up with great food in your engines with great gasoline. Go Pirates.
Wings Over Greenville just got bold with their new bourbon barbecue flavor. It's a triple threat, sweet, smoky, and smooth. Download the Wings Over app, enjoy the frequent flyer club, earn points, unlock exclusive deals, and redeem for free food. Save your go-to orders, order ahead, and skip the line. First-time app user, get free boneless wings just for signing up. And when you order delivery through the app, you skip the middleman. No extra fees from third-party apps like Uber Eats or DoorDash. And don't forget, use the promo code PIRATE25 for 10% off your meal. So fly smart. Download the Wings Over app today or order now at wingsover.com. Wings Over, they deliver. And it's first and goal for the Johnsons. They're looking to score their dream home. They handed off to ENC Pirate Realty, Alan Tate, and boom! Touchdown! That's a home sold in record time.
It's a great thing they handed it to ENC Pirate Realty. The last drive, they tried to sell their own home and fumbled.
Whether you're buying, selling, or just scouting the field, the winning play is ENC Pirate Realty Alan Tate. Visit encpiraterealty.com today, where we bring championship service to every yard. At ENC Pirate Realty Alan Tate, they close the deal or someone walks the plank.
Go Pirates!
CopyPro, the professional office systems people, have been serving Eastern North Carolina since 1971. From Greenville to Wilmington, businesses trust CopyPro for reliable technology, award-winning service, and top brands like Konica Minolta and Ricoh. Need multi-function printers, document management, or network solutions? CopyPro delivers powerful tools backed by certified technicians and a team dedicated to your success. CopyPro, professional people, professional systems, powerful results. Visit copypro.net or call 756-3175 today.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. The following is an exclusive presentation of Pirate Radio, the voice of the pirate nation. This is Eastern North Carolina's longest-running sports radio call-in show. The Brian Bailey Show is on the air. The Brian Bailey Show on Pirate Radio is brought to you by
Bojangles, Bostic Sugg, Michelob Ultra, East Coast Grading, Gavigan Insurance, Greenville Auto World, Greenville Utilities, Papa John's, Pepsi, QC Kinetics, Taft and Hagler, The Rick House, and Tiebreakers.
And now, here's Brian Bailey.
All right, good Tuesday, everyone. Welcome into our show, a Victory Tuesday, if you will. The Pirates with that big 56-3 win over Campbell. Coming up on our show, Blake Harrell, head football coach at East Carolina, kicks us off. Sam Weiderhaft, he is the play-by-play voice for Coastal Carolina for ESPN+, and he'll do the broadcast coming up on Saturday night from Conway, South Carolina. He's coming up a little bit later, and then Zach Kaplan from WNCT, he will join us in the back part of our show today as we get ready for East Carolina and Coastal Carolina to come on Saturday night. As promised, Blake Harrell, head football coach at East Carolina, kicks us off today. Let's get the very latest on Pirate football. Coach, how was practice this morning?
Hey, Brian, how you doing? Appreciate you having me on. Practice went, practice was a Tuesday this morning, and just talked to our guys about getting out there and being intentional. And we talked about the process, really, of just don't worry about the outcome. Can't worry about last week. Showed them a little video today of just how to build a brick wall, and you don't worry about the wall. You worry about laying each little brick to make the wall. So that was kind of where we started, and that was kind of the focus of our practice. And it was good to get back out there and get to work on Coastal.
I know you just took over, midway through the season last year, and you're getting your feet wet this year with duties as a head coach. But do you like the ideas of the themes that you come up with each week? Because I've always enjoyed coaches, because there's a million of them out there, and every once in a while you hear a different one, and you hear we're talking to the team about this or about that. But is that something I'm sure you've heard some of that before, and some of that stuff you've learned through reading and that kind of thing. But do you enjoy that part of it?
Well, I do, and I think you just have to be, you have to have a purpose each and every week, and it's going to be the same to help you win a football game. Last week it was start fast, and obviously this week we still got to start fast, and last week it was urgency, and we still want urgency, but this week we got to be intentional about how we practice, intentional about how we do reps, intentional about how we treat everything we do. So I think if you can find one little buzzword each week or one little focus point or something to rally around, it does help, maybe channel your players and your staff and your programs focus in one direction to hopefully get a win on Saturday.
You think back, and I've covered this program for a long, long time, and a lot of times, you play games where you're supposed to win and you're supposed to win big, and a lot of times it doesn't turn out like that because, for whatever reason, a team overlooks the other or teams aren't focused, and they're jumping off sides and illegal procedures, and all kinds of things can happen. But your team went out there, as you said, with urgency and beat a team that you should have beaten, obviously, but you beat them and you had them beaten, in the first half, and just the way they went out and took care of business had to be very pleasing for you and your coaching staff.
Well, I've been on the other side of that thing as well, and I've been the underdog, the FCS opponent, and when an opponent lets you hang around, it kind of gives you life. And I just thought that was a big focal point last week of jumping on those guys early, trying to get up, 14-0, and try to put them away in the first quarter. That way, we could continue to take care of business. Just really proud of the young men in our program, our coaching staff, of keeping that the focus. And it wasn't really about Campbell or about our opponent. Our biggest opponent every single week is ourselves, and just focusing on what we do, how we go about our business, our preparation, and, the process of how we're going to be successful. So if we'll continue to do that, I think we'll have a chance to be successful on Saturdays if we'll keep that our main focus.
And, we've heard a lot of that from Cliff Godwin. He's had so much success with the baseball program, and he has a schedule that's a national-type schedule, but he says, hey, if we go out and play Pirate baseball, we can play with anybody in the country, and you kind of get the same hint of that with what you're saying, don't you?
Well, there's no question. I think, whether it's Campbell, it's NC State, it's Coastal Carolina, it's BYU, whoever the opponent may be, if we'll take care of our business, take care of ourselves, you'll have a chance to be in the ball game and have a chance to win at some point. Just got to do what we do, and that's limit mistakes. That's take care of the football. That's win the rushing battle, win the explosive play battle, and play good in the red zone and a few other things there. And, you'll have a chance. But I think it's more about the, focus on us. And I think too many times in the past, or two teams that maybe I've been a part of in the past, we're up and down, but because of the opponent, we were more worried about the opponent. And at the same time, we're going to respect our opponent. We're going to prepare for them. But it's knowing your opponent's one thing, but just focusing totally on your opponent's another. So we want to focus on us, ourselves, and getting better each and every single week throughout the season.
Caden Hauser, 25 of 35, 314 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's got to make you sleep a little better at night, doesn't it?
He does, and he's such a great young man, and just enjoy being around him. He's a joy for our football team, and playing really well right now, making some good decisions with the football, and running the offense, playing with a lot of confidence, a lot of swagger out there, and having fun doing it. And he's got to continue to make those good decisions. I'd like to see him make a little better reads in the run game.
Yeah, I bet.
Run game. For two things on that one. One is, there's a few times in short yardage I'd like to see him, do a better job reading the edge defender, the quarterback player. And then too late in the game, I'd like to see him get down instead of taking a hit. But, that's I got to help him out too and get him out of the game in certain situations and just make sure we protect him throughout the season.
15 different receivers caught a pass in the win over Campbell, and that was, I believe, to be a school record at the time. I think you guys went back and looked at it, and maybe it wasn't quite a school record. I'm not sure what Malcolm was saying on that, but still, 15 is a whole bunch, isn't it?
It is, and I think that's like one of the things that stands out to me about Saturday is it was a team win. It took everybody. And you always sit in front of the team in your locker room and talk about it takes everybody. And it does, because at some point, all guys are preparing each other for practice and for game day through practice and things like that. But when you can get so many guys involved, I think we play close to 85 players within the game, that participation report, and then you have that many guys catch a football and several different running backs score touchdowns and do different things like that, that you feel really good about it. And I think there's some other key factors in there too, like defensively. When we put our third down package out there, it's about 10 new guys that run on the field. Our field goal team goes out there, it's about 9 new guys run on the field. So we're able to flip some bodies around, and that's because our guys are working their tails off and being really competitive and making each other better. And I feel really good about our depth right now.
Yeah, I talked about Coach Godwin a minute ago, and I have so much respect for him, and I share some of the things that he shared with me. But the same thing along those lines is that he has to find a role for those players on his team. Same thing with you guys. You have to find roles for these guys to keep them interested, to keep them invested in what you guys are trying to do. And you know as well as anybody that the team you put on the field in August against NC State is very different than the team you put on the field for the bowl game, just because things happen, and you got to keep everybody invested in what you're doing, don't you?
Well, yeah, it's certainly going to grow and change throughout the year, and things are going to shift around. And I do think it's important, for individuals to feel like they contribute. I think anytime, whether it's in football, whether it's in business, whether it's at your job, if you feel like you're not contributing, you're not really fully invested. But if you feel like you contribute in some way, some fashion, some form, you're going to contribute. You feel like, hey, I'm going to give my full effort into this. And I think if we can find ways to get guys involved, whether it's special teams, third down packages, heavy packages on offense, or whatever the case may be, I feel like we're getting more and more guys invested and more guys bought in our program, and just the excitement and the energy and the joy spreads further.
Speaking of energy and joy, Marlon Gunn Jr. was one of the players that was brought in yesterday for the media, and we had some fun with him. He was teaching us the dance, the Louisiana jig, whenever he scores a touchdown. But you gotta love a guy who's got it all planned out and ready to shine when he gets in that end zone.
We've done that dance several times. I keep calling it the jump rope dance, and he had a jump rope, but. It's fun to see those guys just when they score, when they make a play, and just celebrate with each other. And I thought our guys have done a really good job last week of just celebrating with each other. We talk about having energy and juice when you make a play, and when one of us make a play, all of us make a play. And I saw guys celebrating with each other last week, and I thought that was big. And we never want to be the individual or celebrate by ourselves, but if we're celebrating as Pirates and together, I think that's the culture we want to take care of and push forward.
Pirates win over Campbell 56-3. Now it's on to Coastal Carolina down in Conway, South Carolina. This Coastal Carolina team comes in 1-1. They were blown out the first weekend of the season by Virginia from the ACC, and then they slipped by Charleston Southern 13-0 this past week. On tape, Coach, what do you see first off from Coastal Carolina?
Yeah, they played at Virginia and made a few special team mistakes and had a few turnovers up there. With the ball game got a little bit out of hand. Probably was a little closer than the score might indicate. And this past weekend, probably the same thing. Had a couple of turnovers that probably could have went the other way, and the score would have been a 35-0 game, and probably similar to ours in some ways. So I think they're a good football team. I think they do some really good things. Offensively. Their offensive coordinator, Drew Hollinshead, comes from the Mike Leach tree. He was with him at Washington State and with Coach Leach at Mississippi State before he passed away. And so he's kind of got that background to him, almost some Lincoln Riley in there. But also runs the football. I think they ran for 263 yards the other night. MJ Morris is their quarterback. He's been the starter the past 2 games. MJ started out at NC State, where Tim Beck was the OC, who Tim Beck is the head coach there. And then he transferred to Maryland and then ended up at Coastal Carolina. The backup came in during the fourth quarter, Tad Hudson, who also played in the bowl game. Tad is a Charlotte native, started his career out at UNC and has transferred to Coastal. And it seemed like when Tad came in the game, they had a little bit better spark maybe, took better care of the football and ran the football a little better. So it'll be interesting to see which guy we see on Saturday. And then defensively, Jeremiah Johnson is their new defensive coordinator. I've known Jeremiah for a number of years. He's kind of morphed into a 3-high safety defense, much like ODU that we saw last year. They had some really good defenses over the years, and he's just kind of getting it installed and situated there. So it'd be more of an odd front, 5-0-5 on the front end, 2 linebackers, and 3 high safeties. So certainly some challenges that present in that. I know Coach Baker's been studying their defense as you do in the summer and spent a lot of time on it just because it's a little bit different, much like the triple option for the defense, 3 high safety for the offense, a little bit different. So he spent a little bit more time on this look.
You got to be really excited too. This is a game a lot of Pirate fans can get to. It's not, it's not a long trip. I think you'll be plenty of purple and gold coming up on Saturday night, and you'll be under the lights. It's an away game, and it's just another chance to see some Pirate football, isn't it?
There's no question. I mean, second time we've been on the road this year. Second time that we sold out our allotment of tickets, and I think we'll have a big purple crowd in Conway there, and we'll pack it out, and it should be a really, really fun environment.
One of the things I know you really want to get established is the running game, because the entire offense, really gels when that running game is going, doesn't it?
It does so much for your football team. I mean, the run game opens up some things down the field in the pass game. It keeps guys honest. They can't just tee off and pass rush all the time, so helps protect Caton back there. It eats up the time possession as well, and I think that's, good obviously for your offense, but also for your defense, keeps them off the field. So it just does a lot for your football team. And, we're taking – Caton's kind of taking what the defense has given us last week, but I would really like to see us kind of knock some guys off the ball and just kind of, be able to push it up the middle with the run game and get on the perimeter as well. So we got better last week, but I still think we got a ways to go there.
Rematch from the 2022 Birmingham Bowl. That brings a smile to your face, doesn't it?
Well, the final score does, or the final outcome, I guess. But, as a defensive coach, I thought we gave up too many scores in that game. But, overall, that was Coach Chadwell was on his way out, and that was Holton and those guys last game, and just an exciting game there, and a good game with Coastal Carolina, but a very different football team right now down there in Conway.
Is this a game too you'd like to see on the schedule in the future, because it is a short distance between the schools?
I do, and I just think much like the NC State game. I mean, you're playing a game where fans can travel, the revenue stays fairly regional, and just it draws in more of a crowd. I mean, I think if they had played, I'm going to say Temple this week, I'm not sure what kind of crowd they would have, but we're going down there and playing, and it's going to pack it out. And I think similar to here, when we play them in baseball, or when they come here eventually for football, I think we'll have a good crowd, and it just kind of adds to our revenue and the city of Greenville and all those things. So I think it's good for both schools.
Shortly after the press conference yesterday, Coach, the announcement came that the BYU game is at 7:30 at Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium. I know you don't want to overlook anything about Coastal Carolina, but just your first thoughts on a night game, Dowdy-Ficklin, ESPN2, and the opportunity that all presents itself.
Yeah, you're exactly right. We got to take care of business this week, and we got to make sure we're looking 1 week at a time. But we are, as always, we'll be excited to get back in Dowdy-Ficklin to a fired up Pirate Nation, and just appreciate their support and everything they're doing, and packing Dowdy-Ficklin out in the student section, what they did last week. I do want to mention too, Brian, the new space where Scales Fieldhouse is now a green space, a turf space where they put a big, huge screen TV up, show games during the day, have some tents and tailgates area set up, so that's open to the public for fans, and it's a neat area, one of the neater areas I've seen since I've been here. To add to game day experience. Now, kudos to our administration, our marketing department, and those folks for the game day experience. They continue to add. Shout out to Brett and Sup Dogs for the Treasure Island and the DJ they had over there. I know he's got some more stuff planned for that, but it will be exciting to get back to Greenville in a couple of weeks. But the focus is on this week and each and every day this week to prepare for this Saturday.
Should be a lot of fun. East Carolina and Coastal Carolina. Coach, thanks so much for your time. We certainly appreciate it. I know you and Coach Tesh were just jogging down the streets of Greenville about 5 or 10 minutes ago, so we appreciate you coming on with us.
That's usually our morning routine. We get out there. We start meetings at 7:30 in the morning. Get out and practice shortly after that, and we usually get off the field around 10:30 or so. And then we get a quick little exercise in, and then get back in here around noon and back to the film and back to the work for the rest of the evening.
Somebody saw Coach Tesh by himself the other day and said he doesn't have the same pace when he's not with you. So tell him he's got to pick it up some.
The pace is when he's with me, he slows down. Just let me feel good.
There you go. Blake Harrell, head football coach at East Carolina. Coach, thanks so much. We'll see you down in Conway, South Carolina.
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate all you do.
All right. Blake Harrell, head football coach with the Pirates, as his Pirates take on Coastal Carolina and the Chanticleers. I didn't even know how to say that word until we got down to Conway for the regional last year in baseball. All right, let's take our first commercial break. Coming up next, we'll continue our preview of East Carolina and Coastal Carolina. Sam Weiderhaft is the play-by-play voice of the ESPN Plus broadcast for Coastal Carolina. He's up next after this.
This is John Gavigan with the Gavigan Agency. Our top priority is doing what is best for our members. Whether you are buying a new vehicle, a new home, protecting your family with life insurance, or filing a claim, our agency will be there every step of the way. Our goal is to become a trusted advisor for you and your family for all of your personal and commercial insurance needs. Give us a call in Greenville at 756-1400 for a car, home, business, or life insurance quote today, and give us the opportunity to show you the benefits of doing business with someone who cares.
Big news from the Rick House. The Rick House has a brand new menu that you're absolutely going to love. New on the menu are creamy garlic parm chicken pasta, crab cakes, and our new porterhouse, half filet, half strip, tender and juicy, and grilled to perfection. The Rick House is the area's bourbon authority, featuring Willet, Jefferson Tropics, and the Frank Sinatra Select by Jack Daniels. The new menu features new, lower prices and $4 drafts all summer long. The Rick House, Red Bank Road in Greenville.
Greenville Motor Company and Greenville Auto World, two names that are synonymous with top quality sales and service in Pitt County for over 47 years. And Brian Cook joins us now. And Brian, talk about your philosophy when it comes to previously owned cars, trucks, SUVs, even hybrids now.
Yeah, we're going to shop all over the Southeast, trying to keep a good mix of inventory. And from there, we want to offer a top quality product to you through warranties and finance that we can provide.
Try us, trust us at DriveHereNow.com.
Hey, Pirate Nation, this is Caroline Cook, and if you need an experienced realtor from Eastern North Carolina that was born a pirate, then give me a call. I'm committed to helping you find your dream home, selling your property for the best possible price, and providing top-notch real estate services. I pride myself on local knowledge, professionalism, and commitment to exceeding your expectations. Explore my website, CarolineCookHomes.com, to learn more about the services I provide and the properties I have to offer. Start your real estate journey today by calling 341-1992. Go Pirates.
At Langley Contracting, we're superior roofing specialists. Whether it's a new roof or repairing your old one, we've got you covered. And best of all, we handle your insurance claims. We are locally owned right here in Eastern Carolina. We are licensed and insured and have a 25-year roof warranty. We can handle your gutter installation too, so everything is seamless. Call or visit us online at 214roof.com for your free estimate today.
Langley Contracting, your superior roofing specialist.
Do you have any real estate questions about buying or selling residential or commercial properties? Are you curious about this current real estate market? Do you need a property manager for all your rental houses? This is proud ECU alum Scott Harris with Harris Real Estate Group, and I would love to help answer every question you have and show you a real estate experience that will be memorable and enjoyable. Every step of the way, I'm here to make your dreams a stress-free reality. Call me today at 347-1857. That's 347-1857. Go Pirates!
Pirate fans, 2025 East Carolina football season tickets are on sale now and can be purchased for as little as $115. Head coach Blake Harrell wants you to be a part of his first full season as the Pirate coach as he builds momentum off of the 8-win season and the Military Bowl win over North Carolina State. Call 1-800-DIAL-ECU or go to ECUPirates.com today to get your 2025 season tickets.
Hell yeah! Hell yeah! Hell yeah! This is former ECU baseball player and mayor of Greenville, PJ Connolly, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, providing reliable utility solutions to the Greenville region since 1905. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back to our show as we continue our preview of East Carolina and Coastal Carolina to come Saturday night, 7:30 kickoff from Brooks Stadium. Sam Weiderhaft, he is the play-by-play voice for ESPN Plus for the Coastal Carolina broadcast, and he joins us now. Sam, welcome to our show.
I appreciate it, Brian. Thanks for having me on, and super excited to talk about this matchup because
should be a good one come Saturday.
Man, you got the pipes for it. I can tell you that. You sound great. There you go.
I'm on vocal rest right now. I got to take it easy for a few days before Saturday.
I hear you. How long have you been able to do this kind of work for ESPN Plus at Coastal?
Well, I've been involved with the ESPN Plus broadcast with Coastal Carolina for the past 5 seasons in some capacity, but this is my first year with football. So I've worked with baseball for a few years now, the softball teams, the soccer teams, the basketball teams, but this is my first year doing football. My first broadcast was the Charleston Southern game, and certainly looking forward to this one being a great second broadcast.
We were down there for the Conway Regional, the NCAA baseball tournament, and I was really, really impressed with the facilities. The baseball stadium, the softball stadium, how Coastal put on the. It's hard to put on a regional. I think East Carolina does a great job with it as well. But just seeing where the press conference were and everything like that, and they just did a really, really nice job, and had a little controversy with those Florida Gators. But other than that, it was really just a nice weekend, some great baseball. I mean, the East Carolina Coastal game was just great baseball, just perfect college baseball at its best. But you guys have some great facilities.
Oh, you talk about that regional weekend. That was fantastic. I actually saw you in that press conference room. I was the one that was facilitating the press conferences.
Oh, yeah.
Out there, and, that all went really well. But, it just ended perfectly with Coastal Carolina and ECU and the championship and playing back-to-back games, and just how electric those environments were with the Coastal fans and the Pirate fans. It just created a really, really fun weekend, and we're certainly really, really proud of our facilities, especially baseball, which is actually getting a brand new field right now. So, it really, really makes for a good place to watch some sports here in Conway.
Speaking of a brand new field, I know when we were there for the regional, the football field was being replaced. It was really I took some pictures of it, showed them off today earlier at breakfast, but I took some pictures because it was all gravel, and it was really odd to see, a stadium like that with all gravel on the field because they hadn't put the new field in yet. How does the field look now?
Surf Turf 2.0 looks fantastic, let me tell you. It's the second iteration of our teal turf. The first one was put in 10 years ago, and the first one had bronze end zones. Now this one it's a better color teal. It looks a lot more crisp, and it's got black end zones. And for that first home game against Charleston Southern last weekend, it really popped. So super proud of the way that came out and the way that looks, and it really makes for a cool environment.
Sam Weiderhaft, he is the voice of the ESPN Plus broadcast. You'll hear him if you don't go to the game this week. You'll hear him on the broadcast coming up on ESPN Plus. 7:30 kickoff for East Carolina and Coastal Carolina. Let's talk about the Chanticleers a little bit and talk about their season to date. First game at Virginia, not a good start for the Chants. I mean, they really struggled in that game. I think they were turning the football over a couple of times on special teams, but that was a tough start, wasn't it?
Yeah, it certainly was. And, you go to an ACC school, it's going to be a tough environment regardless, but just got killed by some mental mistakes. Our offensive line was a little bit off during that game. Our center was playing his first game in 2 years because he missed all of last year, so some miscues on that side of the ball. And then, just some special teams errors with a blocked punt and then a kickoff return touchdown that really just killed us in that game. In a game where, we gave up 48 points, but don't really feel like the defense played all that bad because they were just given a bad hand on a few drives. So wasn't a great start to the season, that's for sure. But lucky enough to get our first win last weekend against Charleston Southern.
Yeah, you come back home, and that was a close game into the fourth quarter. I believe it was still 3-0 into the fourth, and Coastal was able to win that one 13-zip.
Yeah, it was a little closer than I think people expected. And I think mainly it's just Coastal trying to figure out who they are on offense. And unfortunately, the Chanticleers had some trouble moving the ball in that home opener against an FCS team that, frankly, isn't that good of an FCS team. They went 1-11 last year, so just struggled moving the ball. MJ Morris, the starting quarterback, he got pulled in that second half, and the Chants brought in Tad Hudson because Morris threw 3 interceptions in that game. So trying to figure out what the identity is on offense. They did run the ball very well, but was able to get a shutout, 13-0 win. It was just our first shutout win in 5 years. Defense looked really good, which they should against an FCS team. So that was a big positive coming out of that matchup.
What kind of crowd did they have for the opener, and what kind of crowd do they expect this week?
Oh, well, the opener was wild. It actually set a new attendance record, which it seems like every home game nowadays we're setting a new attendance record, but it was over 22,000, and there was a lot of stuff going on for the first game. There was a drone show at halftime. You had the free concessions, which is going to be a thing all year long, and fans were really excited about that. So a lot of energy when the team came out on the field for the first time. There was a lot of energy. It was really loud, a great environment for that first half. And then once the game started getting a little close and Coastal wasn't pulling away like people expected it to, you had some nervous energy there at that point. But this weekend, I can't wait for it. I mean, you talked about what the regional was in Conway back this past summer and just how crazy that environment was over at Springsbrook Stadium, our baseball stadium. You know, I think it's going to be fun and might set another attendance record for this one. But, you know, this is a game that Coastal hasn't played ECU too often. It's only been one matchup back in the Birmingham Bowl a few years ago. So you're going to see excitement from both sides, and I think it's going to be really cool when it plays out on Saturday night.
Sam Weiderhaft joining us. He is the ESPN Plus broadcaster for Coastal Carolina. We're going to take a commercial break. We'll come back and we'll continue on. We'll wrap things up with Sam coming up next here on The Brian Bailey Show.
At Tiebreakers, we pride ourselves on serving
big, juicy wings.
I'm talking
big and juicy.
Our chickens are the same ones that kick sand in the other chickens' faces. If our chickens played football, they'd be linebackers. The competition's chickens, they'd be
skinny little kickers.
Trade those kickers in for linebackers. Join us today for
big, juicy wings.
All season long at Tiebreakers.
Tiebreakers, with 2 locations in Greenville and on Railroad Street in Winterville.
East Coast Grading and Utilities is your source for clearing, hauling dirt, and concrete work. East Coast Grading and Utilities handles all sewer and water issues as well.
I'm David Vaughn. Whether putting in a new subdivision or helping you with any and all of your drainage problems, I can get the job done. Call me at 531-7494.
No job is too big or too small. East Coast Grading and Utilities. Friends helping friends. 531-7494 for East Coast Grading and Utilities.
Hi, I'm Ken Hagler of Taft and Hagler. We're proud to be sponsors of the Brian Bailey Show and the Pirate Nation on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. If you've been injured on the job or due to someone else's negligence in an automobile collision, call us at 752-2000 for a free consultation with experienced professionals who care. Go Pirates!
Hey Landon, did you hear the news?
Oh yeah, Dowdy Ficklin's getting a Mountain Dew makeover.
That's right, the Mountain Dude is coming to get rowdy and dowdy.
Please tell me he's bringing that neon green coat.
Oh, you know it, and get this, fans can actually win one of those custom coats and get recognized on the field during the ECU Army game on September 25th.
No way, you'd look good in one of those, man.
No, I think it's got your name all over it.
Be on the lookout for Mountain Dew standees at your favorite Mountain Dew retailers. Scan the QR code and you could win your own neon coat and a meet and greet with the dude himself.
So mark those calendars, Thursday night, September 25th, ECU vs. Army. Let's paint it Mountain Dew green.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt. When you compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line, competition isn't that friendly. The trash talk, next level. And the stakes, oh, those are crystal clear. With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
G'day, this is Luke Larson, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities. Community owned, community powered. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back to our show. We continue our look at Coastal Carolina with Sam Weiderhaft from the ESPN Plus broadcast crew down at Coastal Carolina. When you look at this Coastal Carolina team, Sam, what do you think the strength of this squad is?
Well, I think the defense has certainly been the strength through the first 2 games. Like I talked about in that Virginia game, it was 48-7, but I think they were dealt a pretty bad hand, and they stopped Virginia on the first 3 drives of the game, so started off pretty strong. Just got unlucky with some bad field position and obviously some special teams mistakes as well. And then they did their job certainly against Charleston Southern. I think they have really good pass rushers as well. You're going to want to watch out for Zeke Campbell, defensive end, number 18. I think he's had a really good first two games, 2.5 tackles for loss in that Charleston Southern game on Saturday. So he's been a dog so far in the first two matchups. And then offensively, what I talked about earlier with Coastal trying to find their identity, well, I think the strength offensively is the offensive line and the running backs. The offensive line is made up of guys that are all returning from last year, which is a rare thing in Group of Five football these kind of days. But all these guys are back from playing with this team last year. And then the running backs, which, Coach Beck said during fall camp that this running back room is the deepest that he's had in his 3 years as the head coach. You got 4 guys that can run the ball really well, Jabin Simpkins and a freshman, Dominic Nicely, who really showed out in the first home game against Charleston Southern. Those are probably your top 2 guys, and I was really impressed with what we saw from Nicely, who fell just a few yards shy of an 100-yard game in his first home game with Coastal Carolina. So, those are some things to pick out, but we're going to see if Coastal can maybe pass the ball a little bit and find some synergy with those receivers against the Pirates.
Yeah, you look at any college football team, and every coach in America will tell you we have to stop the run and we have to run the football. And it's so boring to hear that, but it's exactly what has to happen. I mean, game in and game out, that's exactly the formula for success. If you run the football, and in East Carolina's case, if they run the football, that sets up the pass, and they have some explosive wide receivers. I don't think we've seen anywhere close to what we will see later on in the season from the Pirate passing game. They hope to exploit some things with Coastal coming up in this football game, but I think that they really have to establish the run because it's so very, very important. And as you said, the thing that Coastal has done so very well so far, running the football, Pirates have to figure out a way to stop that.
Yeah, and I think, the main thing I'm going to be watching on Saturday is the passing from both teams, because obviously you guys have a great quarterback in Caden Hauser who's been able to put together 2 really impressive games and, almost got the job all the way done against NC State in that first game, and just an explosive offense on the Pirates side. And then with Coastal Carolina, I mean, the passing just hasn't clicked, and I can't really tell you which quarterback is going to run out there to start the game on Saturday because MJ Morris got benched. Is he going to come back? Are we going to see Tad Hudson, who's the only returning quarterback? He only played 1 game last year. It was the Myrtle Beach Bowl, and didn't throw it all that much against Charleston Southern. And I really thought that game against the Buccaneers was going to be a chance to see the quarterback settle in and MJ Morris and find his receivers and create some chemistry there, and it just didn't happen. So are we going to see that with Tad Hudson? Is he going to be the guy? There's a lot of questions offensively that we're going to see on Saturday when it all plays out.
Tim Beck is the 4th coach in the 20-year history of Coastal Carolina. He's a 3-time nominee for the Broyles Award that goes to the top assistant coach in FBS. He was the offensive coordinator at NC State back in 2022 when State came to East Carolina and won when the Pirates missed 2 kicks in the final couple of minutes. In 12 years, he's been the offensive coordinator at Nebraska, Ohio State, Texas, and the Wolfpack of North Carolina State. How is Coach Beck to work with?
He's been great with us so far. Obviously filled with expertise and loves to share his knowledge, with us, the broadcast crew. He's been great so far. And, obviously here for 3 years, he knows the area. And I just, this is a big year because you had 2 overhauls on the offensive and defensive side with brand new coordinators on those sides. And he's also got a general manager as well, which allows him to maybe coach more football rather than dealing with the negotiation side of things. So I said it during fall camp. It's, he sounds like he's the happiest he's been at Coastal Carolina. He's able to do his thing. He's able to coach football. And, now it's just about getting these guys together and getting some results on the field.
Which days does he meet the media? Was his press conference yesterday or is it today?
Yeah, he does pressers on Wednesdays, so it'll be tomorrow.
Wednesday, okay. So it's coming up tomorrow for the press conference for the head football coach at Coastal Carolina, Tim Beck. We'll be on the lookout for that. When you look at the matchup between these 2 teams, Sam, what kind of game are you looking for?
Oh, it's tough to see. Just trying to see how Coastal Carolina comes out offensively. I think, if that pass doesn't end up working, we'll see if they can keep it on the ground. But it should be smash-mouth football. I know that some Coastal fans are pretty down right now after just beating Charleston Southern 13-0. But, you got to factor in 61 new players on this Coastal side. and 2 brand new coordinators, so they're still trying to find their groove. And I think this one's going to be close. It's going to be a great environment. You're going to have a lot of ECU fans there, obviously, and Coastal Carolina fans are going to show out as well. A very exciting game coming up on Saturday. So, I could see it being a high-scoring game. I could see it being a low-scoring game. We're just going to see what happens on Saturday. But either way, I think this one's going to be close because I think Coastal is going to come out with some more juice than they had last weekend.
And Coastal has North Carolina State on its schedule later on this year, right?
We have South Carolina on the schedule, but NC State's not.
Oh, I thought I saw NC State on. I must have looked at one of the other schedules. That was what?
Yeah.
Oh, that was Campbell. You're right. Okay, you've got South Carolina. Well, you still have a schedule that has another FBS team on it.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and that one's going to be that's going to be a fun one over in Columbia. You know, our athletic director Chance Miller came from South Carolina when he got here last year, so I think it'll be a pretty fun matchup coming up in November, and obviously the Gamecocks are going to have a pretty talented squad.
Coastal Carolina, East Carolina, 7:30 kickoff coming up, Brooks Stadium. You're expecting a sellout then, right?
I believe so. Yeah, it should be. And I would not be shocked if Coastal breaks the attendance record once again, which is set right at about 22,000, a couple hundred more than that. But, it's a great stadium. It's a great environment, and I think everybody's going to have fun.
Should be a lot of fun. Sam, thanks so much for your time today. We certainly appreciate it. We enjoyed talking about the Chanticleers of Coastal Carolina. We'll look for you coming up on Saturday.
Of course, I appreciate you bringing me on, and I hope everybody enjoys our rivalry game on Saturday.
Should be fun. Sam Weiderhaft joining us play-by-play for ESPN Plus for Coastal Carolina. We'll take another commercial break. Coming up next, Zach Kaplan with WNCT. He'll join us as we continue on this Tuesday afternoon after this.
This is Holt Nailers for my friends at Anson Belts, the belts that I wear. Go to ansonbelt.com to find micro-adjustable holeless belts with over 30-plus options of a 1/4 inch apart instead of your typical 5 holes 1 inch apart, always giving you the perfect fit every time. If your waist fluctuates, Anson Belt is great because you can always find the perfect fit any time of the year. ansonbelt.com, over 10,000 combinations to choose from, a belt for every occasion, and the official belt of the Holt Nailers Show.
The convenience of Pitt Greenville Airport is waiting just outside your front door. Service is back, so you're connected to destinations worldwide through flights from American Airlines. Plan your next trip. Book your flights today at flypgv.com or aa.com.
Good news, business travelers. PGV and American Airlines has added a new early morning flight available now. Book today at aa.com and be on time for that connection in Charlotte. Fast, convenient, and close to home, PGV has American flights perfect for your next trip. PGV, where the Pirates fly.
Want to make your day better? You can now order 2 large original crust one-topping pizzas from Papa John's for only $9.99 each. Take advantage of this awesome carry-out special now by logging on to papajohns.com and make today a pizza day for only $9.99 each. Papa John's is the MVP move for game day or any day. Place your order online at papajohns.com and sign up for Papa Rewards and start earning points for your favorite menu items. Go Pirates!
Ahoy, Pirate Nation. It's game day, and there's only one place to go to gear up, UBE. Whether you're tailgating, storming the stadium, or watching the Pirates play from the couch, do it the Pirate way with UBE. We've got the latest and greatest tees, jerseys, and hats from Adidas, Champion, and Lululemon. Don't forget UBE Game Day buttons, available free to the first 500 customers on game day. Set your course for University Book Exchange or shop 24/7 at pirateware.com.
Here at the Holistic Company, we know that life throws you its fair share of curveballs. Like passing that drug test? Congrats. Now you can finally relax, kick back, and, well, light one up. You've earned it. With weekly events like trivia, karaoke, comedy, open mic, movie night, and, of course, all your favorites. Flour, merch, carts, edibles, and wellness products. Whatever you need to legally take the edge off, we've got your vibe covered. Order online at theholisticco.com or visit us at 5th and Evans in Greenville or at one of our other 2 locations in Fremont or Smithfield. The Holistic Company.
While you're sleeping, our whole hogs are slow cooking over wood to create that bite that Eastern North Carolina is known for. I'm Sam Jones, and for more than 3 generations, my folks have been the torchbearers for what whole hog barbecue is supposed to be. At Sam Jones, you'll find plenty of smoke, but no mirrors. Everything, and I mean everything, is made fresh daily, including our sides, sweets, and sauces. Come on over and see us at Sam Jones Barbecue, and I bet you'll be able to taste our passion in just one bite. Sam Jones Barbecue, Fire Tower Road.
This is Tyler Sneed, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities. Community-owned utilities mean local control, low rates, and high reliability. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back on this Tuesday. Our jam-packed show continues. Zach Kaplan joins us. He's my right-hand man over at WNCT in our sports department. He's had a busy fall so far, and he had his parents in town for the first time this past weekend. So I wanted to have him on for a few minutes to see how that went. So they didn't scare you out of staying in Greenville, did they?
They didn't. They had a great time. They were impressed by the tailgates. They were impressed by the sportscast. So I guess they did half decent there. They really enjoyed their time down here.
Good. That means they got to come back, right?
I'm thinking, maybe baseball season. Try to sneak them down to the beach if weather cooperates. So we're early talks to get them back here for the spring at some point.
Yeah, that's got to mean a lot to you, because I remember when my parents didn't come down for a football game. They came down early on in my career, but they didn't come down to a football game until probably, I guess it's been 6 or 7, 8 years now, and you don't even realize how big a deal it was until after, things go on in life and that kind of thing. But it was really cool. So I was glad to get a chance to meet them. I didn't scare them off too bad, did I?
No, you didn't. They really they enjoyed. I know your family for the most part was down here as well, so they enjoyed meeting them. I kind of put, because like they've been to Penn State games and they visited myself and my sister's down in Happy Valley, so I wanted to put it in perspective. Just don't expect that, but it's still pretty good. But they were still pretty impressed, because that's you got 110,000 people for those games, so this isn't that. But hey, it might be pretty electric in a couple weeks for BYU if the Pirates can win this game Saturday.
Let's talk about the game Saturday. Coastal Carolina, you get a chance to drive to Conway while I take a nap. I knew you were thinking that, but it can't be as bad as the road trip to Liberty last year, can it?
Not many things will be. That's one I'll remember forever. I've told Clip Brock many times I'm thankful for that fifth quarter show that it felt like never ended, just like the drive never ended. So that probably kept us up at least once we got back into the North Carolina.
Yeah, let's just hope there's no thunderstorms around the Myrtle Beach, Conway, South Carolina area for Saturday night. But it should be a great atmosphere. They're expecting a sellout crowd, lots of teal. I'm looking forward to seeing the new turf on the field there. I was talking to Sam, the voice of the ESPN Plus broadcast, and telling him a little bit about what we saw when we were there I was there for the regional, and remembering that the entire turf had been taken up and it was all gravel. It was kind of an odd scene, but now you've got the brand new turf, and they said it's it's a brighter teal, if you will, with black end zones. So I'm looking forward to getting down and seeing that. I'm also looking forward to the matchup. Pirates are about a touchdown favorite last I saw, and I think it's a good game for both teams, and hopefully East Carolina can go down and take care of business.
And I'll say this, if you like the Pirates, get in on them early, at least from a betting standpoint. They opened, they were 6.5 yesterday, already up to 7.5. I checked before I came on with you. So I think there's still room for that to go up. And I think you have to feel good, a lot better, at least if you're a Pirate fan, 2 weeks than a Chanticleer fan.
I got one for you. Kenny just wrote in. This is great. He says, Zach, it was nice meeting your parents on Saturday. They raised a good young man. Don't tell Bailey, but you're becoming my favorite sports anchor. Kenny used to be one of my best friends. But now you're doing a nice job, and we certainly appreciate it. Now, when you look at some of the things that we also cover besides East Carolina football this time of year in high school football, we've got a new top 9 coming out today. Tarboro has been the season-long #1 team in our Touchdown Friday top 9. You were at a key game last week, West Craven and New Bern. New Bern was 2, West Craven was 3, and we had a little problem at the end of the game, didn't we?
I tell you, it was a game like, you remember rivalry games and stuff, but at the end of the game, it turned into one I'll never forget because of how it ended. There was, a kind of a, I've really gone through the tape. I mean, it's like, Brian, it's like the Kennedy assassination. I'm trying to go frame by frame and see who started this kind of, I don't want to call it a melee, but like, certainly an altercation in the handshake line between the West Craven and New Bern coaching staffs. It really wasn't the players. The players were kind of trying to break it up. It was mostly the coaches. And certainly, I mean, we've gotten some emails about it. Even, we're now 3-4 days after the fact. So people are really still talking about it. And maybe a game that sets the tone for the rest of the season for both those schools, getting through the rivalry game. But that was pretty interesting in Vanceboro. I've never had to text you and that ball happened at about 10:05. And obviously they don't move the show back just because my game ended late. So that was a scramble to get it in. But I've never had to text you and say, hey, my stuff's coming in late. We had a nice brawl here in Vanceboro. So that was a unique text to send your way on Friday night.
Yeah, and there must be something in the water because in week one, Conley had problems at the end of their game. Players coming off the bench, they were really worried that they were going to be in really, really deep trouble with the North Carolina High School Athletic Association. Evidently, they got through that thing unscathed as far as that goes. But it'll be interesting to see what happens with this deal. And like you said, it's kind of hard to figure out what sparked it. I mean, something had to spark the thing before as they were going through the handshake line, and I've heard different people, say what they thought had happened, but it's unfortunate. You like to see the fire in the eyes of the coaches, but you hate when it happens, something like that. So it's kind of a fine line there.
Yeah, and the other thing, I was really to pull back the curtain here. So at about 6:15, 6:20 was when New Bern pulled into Vanceboro. They warm up at their stadium and then get in the bus about 25-minute ride and come over to Clay Jordan Stadium. And I guess I was getting ready to go live on TV, as were you. And I guess New Bern, when they pulled up, they ran right up to the 50-yard line, and they were certainly verbally letting West Craven know that they had arrived at the stadium and were ready to play. So that was kind of the context that I had heard, but I was obviously a little more locked in on just making sure I was ready to talk with you over the air on our 6 o'clock newscast. But that had something to do with it as well. And then I think going for some scores late probably ruffled feathers, but it's a rivalry game, so you know to expect it. And we'll see. I haven't heard anything about suspensions or any punishments related to the end of the game, but they both have big games this week. New Bern and Cleveland. New Bern hosts Cleveland. They're both undefeated, and West Craven goes to Farmville Central, who just knocked off Conley. So Shirley Rhodes' Jaguars with a big one last week, and now hosting West Craven coming off that game.
Yeah, I was a little surprised to see the Conley game end like it did because Conley had a lead at halftime, much different than the week before for Conley when they trailed at the half up at Northeastern, and Northeastern had won so many games in a row at home, but Conley was able to pull off the upset there. Maybe they had a little bit of a letdown going to Farmville, but Farmville made them pay. And as you said, it is a key game. Jaguars and West Craven coming up this week, and already week 4 of the high school football season. We say it every year, but once you turn the page to August, life tends to just fly by. In the high school football season, it'll be the playoffs before you know it. East Carolina, though, in action against Coastal Carolina, game number 3 for the Chanticleers and the Pirates. When you look at the matchup of this one, Zach, what do you see as far as the strengths of both teams, the weaknesses of both teams, and how it's going to play out?
Well, here's a stat for you, Brian, because Coastal in 2 games so far this year combined, all the quarterbacks, both Virginia and Charleston Southern, they have thrown for 302 yards total in those 2 games. Caden Hauser has eclipsed both of those numbers by himself in each game, each week so far. He's thrown for 680 so far this year, and they've only thrown for 302. I know you talked about it with Coach Harrell and with Sam, but I mean, I really would be stunned if they trot out there for the first offensive series and MJ Morris is there. It's kind of interesting too. Morris is a state transfer. Tad Hudson is a North Carolina transfer. So that's an interesting wrinkle, that the North Carolina tie into this game. But it really looked like they moved the ball so much better with Hudson. Even, he only came in for about a quarter and change. But I'd be shocked if they went to Morris. They've been better at running the ball, but they just, the strength of their team has got to be defensively, at least pitching a shutout, even if it's an FCS team. And the Pirates got to be the aerial attack, which I know they're still continuing to get going. Had the slow first half in Raleigh, but really the last 6 quarters have looked more like the high-flying offense we saw in of last year.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that when you look at the Pirates have to get their running game going, but their passing attack, just thrives off of that running game. And I think when you look at Coastal Carolina, I agree with you on the quarterback situation. We saw the other quarterback in the bowl game for a little bit because obviously they had an injury at quarterback early in the bowl game. So it will be interesting to see when you're trying to prepare for 2 quarterbacks. Coach Harrell has said it's a little bit different, but in this situation, I don't know if you're actually preparing for 2 or just trying to get your team ready to play defense, because I think that a good defensive effort and you come away with a win in this one against Coastal Carolina. I'm not sure, when they played Virginia, they did turn it over a bunch on special teams, but they really, they got their tails handed to them in that game. I think it was 48-7 was the final. So they were blown out in that game. Then they played a bad FCS team. So we haven't seen nearly the best of Coastal Carolina so far, and the Pirates hope we won't see it again for another week, I guess.
I just remember last year, Jake Garcia opened, it was 8 touchdowns, 12 picks, and people and Pirate Nation was about ready to pull their hair out collectively. So imagine if it was 0 touchdowns to 4 interceptions, which is what they've had from Morris so far at quarterback. I mean, people would be going nuts.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that Keaton Hauser finally took over and Blake Harrell took over as coach and everything turned around. And I think, when you listen to what Coach Harrell says, some of the things he says to his team, one of the things that I've always thought about with Pirate football is that if Pirates were guilty of playing to the level of their competition a lot of times. And I think it's very important when you go into a game like the Campbell game and you take care of business like they did. And that game was, out of hand at halftime. Pirates put it in easy gear for the second half and cruise to that big win. Obviously the schedule intensifies. It starts on the road this week against Coastal, and then you come home. If you can take care of business at Coastal, you're 2-1. You're playing an undefeated ranked BYU team at home, and I think that would provide a great atmosphere. It'll be a Saturday night. Just should be all kinds of excitement, and you can't even think about Army 5 days later. So, all of a sudden the schedule really gets tough, and it's coming up very soon.
I think, I know Clip Brock's back there. They've been laughing about it because I went on the show on Pirate Radio Live and called it the Fulcrum game of the season, and we spent a few minutes looking up the definition of fulcrum. But it is really this is the seesaw game of the season. I felt this way since before the year. Felt like they were probably going to go to Raleigh and lose. Obviously, felt pretty confident they were going to beat Campbell. But this is the first one that you got to have where, you're a 7-point favorite. I'd probably be 8-point or 9-point favorite by the time Saturday rolls around. And you got to handle business because, like you said, you got back-to-back night games coming up at home after this one and a real runway to get off to their hottest start to a season in some time, at least, since Holton and maybe even before that. So this is a game that you have to handle because then it really sets up. And Brian, this is football season number 3 for me. And I really haven't seen Dowdy Ficklin with 46,000 where it's, truly the upper deck opposite the press box is filled up. And you have a real chance, if you can handle business, to have that for this BYU game and maybe even the Army game after that.
All right, back to the Fulcrum game because they were all shrugging their shoulders back here.
Bailey, you went to 4 colleges. Do you know
I went to more than 4, by golly.
Do you know the word fulcrum? I've never heard that word.
I dated a girl whose last name was Fulcrum one time, yeah.
Was that a bit of a seesaw relationship?
Yeah. I got news for you. They were all seesaw relationships back in the day.
You're in one right now.
Yeah. Just ask her. I'm sure. That's a good stat there. A good idea. The Fulcrum game. I get where you're going with that, but yeah.
You prefer seesaw?
Yeah. Seesaw. Yeah, seesaw's good. Swing game might be a little bit better, swing game, but you got the right idea. All right, we got to take our final break. Zach, thanks so much for joining us. I'm glad your parents were in town. Glad that everything worked out there. We're going to take our final break, and then we'll wrap things up on this edition of the Brian Bailey Show on this Victory Tuesday for East Carolina after this.
It's bow time. Sure, you've had a sausage biscuit before, but have you had the smoked sausage biscuit from Bojangles? Well, now is your chance. Juicy, slow-cooked smoked sausage is grilled to perfection and served on a fluffy, made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. No one does breakfast like Bojangles, and this smoked sausage biscuit doesn't disappoint. Right now, you can get 2 for just $5. Start your day with this flavor-packed deal while it lasts. It's Bo time.
QC Kinetics with another success story, and this one from our Pirate Radio family. Brian Bailey's wife, Melissa, has finally found some answer to her pain in her back.
I work in home health, so I'm constantly working with patients. That work is taking its toll on my body and my back. And all the driving that I do, I was looking for an answer. I found that answer at QC Kinetics. My pain is virtually gone, and I'm in the early stages of treatment. They say it's only going to get better from here.
Call them today for a free consultation, 494-5387. QC Kinetics.
We filled the trucks so you'll save big bucks during the Lazy Boy Truckload Sale at Bostic Sugg Furniture. Look for the Lazy Boy truck in our parking lot. It's filled with Lazy Boy furniture at huge savings. Take advantage of big rig discounts of up to 50% off Lazy Boy recliners and motion sofas, Lazy Boy stationary furniture, leather, sectionals, and chairs. But quantities are limited. There's no reorders, no rain checks. So roll in before these savings roll out during the Lazy Boy Truckload Sale at Bostic Sugg Furniture.
Jeff Stein here at Brown & Wood Buick GMC, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. For Cadillac, we got the XT5, plenty in stock, $5,000 off. For Mazda, we have the Mazda 3, 2.9%, the CX-70, $440 a month lease special, the CX-50, $339 a month with only $29.95 down. We've also got Tom Brown's favorite tagline, 4 brands, 3 generations, 2 rooftops, and 1 goal to make sure you leave a happy customer.
Looking for your new favorite hangout spot? Come on down to the Doghouse Tavern, Aiden's veteran-owned crown jewel on 2nd Street. From open mic Mondays to music bingo Thursdays, there's always something happening. Enjoy daily drink specials, one of the best bar menus around, and live music that'll keep you coming back for more. Grab your friends, kick back, and support local at the Doghouse Tavern. Check us out on Facebook to see what's on tap this week. The Doghouse Tavern, where good times and great vibes live.
Pirate fans, 2025 East Carolina football season tickets are on sale now and can be purchased for as little as $115. Head coach Blake Harrell wants you to be a part of his first full season as the Pirate coach as he builds momentum off of the 8-win season and the Military Bowl win over North Carolina State. Call 1-800-DIAL-ECU or go to ECUPirates.com today to get your 2025 season tickets. Hell yeah! Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
This is Coach Gary Overton, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, working for our community, not for shareholders. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back to our show as we wrap things up on this Tuesday. The Bud Light pregame tailgate kicks off at 3:30 on Saturday. I'll check in somewhere near Conway, South Carolina, coming up on Saturday with Clip Rock and company for that 4-hour pregame show to get you set for East Carolina Pirate football, East Carolina and Coastal Carolina. If you're making the trip down to Conway, please be safe. We want to get you safely down there, safely back, and can then get you set for the BYU game coming up next week. But it should be a lot of fun down in Conway. They have great facilities. I think you'll enjoy the stadium, and it was a blast for the regional. I think it'll be a blast for this one, the Pirates and the Chanticleers. I want to thank Blake Harrell, head football coach at East Carolina, for joining us to kick off our show. Sam Weiderhaft, he will be the play-by-play voice for the ESPN Plus broadcast. I want to thank him for taking time out of his day to join us, and Zach Kaplan from WNCT Channel 9, my right-hand man, for joining us on the show today. That is our show, and we'll see you back here next Tuesday. Have a great sports week, everybody.
This has been The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, and also brought to you by
Bojangles, Bostic Sugg, Michelob Ultra, East Coast Grading, Gavigan Insurance, Greenville Auto World, Greenville Utilities, Papa John's, Pepsi, QC Kinetics, Taft and Hagler, The Rick House, and Tiebreakers.
Join us next week for another edition of